Well, the room is just about done. As you can see, there is no carpeting. It's pretty filthy, but I just can't go through with getting the carpet. It's going to be too expensive, and at the moment it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to deal with that. So I have hopes that we'll get the curtains up today, and so you can see the furniture has been done in a new color. I've got to put the curtains up today, and then hopefully maybe tomorrow I will get my tomorrow maybe I will be able to get my my bed in there. The reason why I had to do this, though, was because my health has gotten really, really terrible. It's been getting progressively worse here, I have to admit, since January or so. But if you look at my room, my floor this carpet is about 17 years old. And some of these stains won't come out, at least not with my carpet cleaner. And the other carpet was even much worse. So anyway, I'm going to be moving my bed out of this room and into the new room, hopefully by the end of the week, over the next day or two, and see if that makes any difference. I'm taking some more medications. I went to my lung doctor yesterday. I've been having a great deal of pain in my chest here for the last week. Since I talked to you last, I've not been able to do much. And probably because of taking up the old carpet and being around all the fumes of everything. I had hopes the first couple of days of working with my friend Dustin that maybe, the exercise and the activity would be beneficial to me, but apparently the opposite was true. I have badly inflamed my lungs. So, my lung doctor retired here just in the last few months, so I haven't been to see her actually since last winter, and I had an appointment to go in to follow up and see her in March, and I canceled that appointment because of what was going on with COVID. My brother died March 9th, and for several months there I was afraid to leave the house, basically. And so I haven't seen, I finally got in to see my family doctor here a couple of times here in recent weeks, but at any rate, I went to the, they've kind of assigned me a new, younger pulmonologist there, and after, listening to me breathe and going over all of my symptoms, she feels that I've probably got maybe a small infection and what she described as some type of, inflammation. She believes quite possibly from all the dirt and dust and things that I've probably inhaled from working in that room. And at any rate, I did get some new medications. They're changing my. I take a steroid based inhaler called Symbicort, and along with that, I take another inhaled medication called Tudorza, and I take them. I'm supposed to take them both like twice a day. Once in the morning, once at night. And, the trouble is, last time I was tested, my breathing, my lung capacity was something like 20% at best, and it's probably not that now. it's probably worse. And so I was asked whether or not, that medications were getting into my lungs where I was able to inhale, deeply enough for them to be effective. And of course, the answer was I don't know, but probably not. So what they're doing is they're giving me the same medications, basically, as mists to take with my nebulizer. So they come in these little inhaler tubes, very similar to the albuterol sulfate that I normally take with my nebulizer. But I take 2 of these tubes a day and 1 of this other tube once a day. So, and then the others that I've been taking as needed. They're going to send me a third. I'm going to get in the mail every month, and it has a steroid in it similar to what you find in Tidorza or in Symbicort. So I'll get the same medications that I've been taking these medications, but I'll get them through my nebulizer. And the theory is that I will get more of the medication into the lungs with the nebulizer than I was with the type of inhalers that I've been using. I also was given what they call a Z-Pack, which is basically a 5-day regimen of antibiotics called azithromycin. And so I'll be taking my 3rd tablet of that today. And of course, I'm taking elevated doses. Whenever I have an exacerbation of my COPD, I take higher doses of my prednisone, and so I'm on a regimen. Today will be the 4th day that I'm taking 40 milligrams, and of course, after 4 days, beginning tomorrow, I will drop down to 30 milligrams a day for 4 days, and then to 20 milligrams for 4 days, and then 10 milligrams for 4 days, until finally I hopefully go back to just the 5 milligrams of daily maintenance prednisone that I normally am on. But my doctor seemed to be somewhat pessimistic that the 40 milligrams for 4 days regimen would be enough. But nevertheless, she wants me to try that and see if it's sufficient. And I need to go back in to see her November 2nd. At any rate, listening to my lungs, she said that there's very little airflow. My chest is very tight, and that's how I knew things are bad. My breathing had been very, very labored. I've been using oxygen most of the time lately, and have not been able to do much at all. So also worried that maybe I am retaining too much carbon dioxide, and this is unfortunately kind of a somewhat not irregular feature of 4th stage COPD, and that is that you don't exhale properly. The scar tissue or whatever in your lungs are so bad that you're not able to get rid of all the carbon dioxide from your blood that you should be, and that retention of carbon dioxide cause some extreme side effects, and in fact it can even be fatal. But at first you're going to notice you're going to be tired and lethargic, and I have been that lately quite a bit, and also it can lead to like confusion and some other areas, and I'm not so sure I've been as much affected, but At any rate, what they do for that, they give you a test. And in my case, it's a very painful test. They have to dig deep into your arm with a needle to find an artery, not a vein where they typically take blood from you or whatever, but an artery which lies deeper, and it's kind of I don't know. Every time I've had this done, it has been a very painful experience, and it just seems they never seem to have much success trying to find an artery with me, but I mean, they have wreaked havoc on my arms, and I'm not one who loves needles to begin with. But at any rate, they find an artery, and then they take blood samples from the artery rather than a vein to test the carbon dioxide level. And once they see that it has reached a significant level, they have to try to find ways of helping you rid your body, and get those numbers down, which generally involves using something called a BPAP machine. You're probably familiar with a CPAP machine that people suffering sleep apnea wear. It's like a mask that they wear over their face where they breathe at night, and it forces oxygen in them so that they are getting plenty of air. And this is similar, but if anything, it's a little bit more forceful, and it basically applies pressure every time you try to exhale. And somehow that has the effect of making you rid yourself of more carbon dioxide. The bad news is that then you have to go in and have more tests, more of these drawings of blood from your arteries, and it could take 2, 3, 4 of them before they finally feel that that it's working. And of course, if you're retaining carbon dioxide and you don't solve the underlying cause of it, if your lungs are just so poorly functioning that that it's going to be from that point on a permanent new affliction. Well, you've got to wear the BPAP machine quite a bit, and you're going to have a regular of these blood gas tests, or whatever they call them. So I'm not looking forward to any of that. I'm hoping that the medications will make me feel better that I'm taking now, and that we won't run into that. But I'm afraid when I go back November 2nd, that's probably on my agenda. At any rate, again, I want to specify here that the importance of you to get out and vote early. And I would have already turned in my absentee ballot personally, except that it has not arrived yet. It was mailed last Tuesday, and this is now the following week on Wednesday. Now I know mail didn't come around yesterday or Monday of this week because of, I guess, Columbus Day or whatever. But at any rate, I know I'm a little concerned that, I live about 17 miles away from the Board of Elections office and from the city, Warren, Ohio, where those absentee ballots, as I understand, were mailed out on Tuesday. And it really shouldn't take a full, week for that mail to get here. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if it has something to do with, all of this chaos that's the Postmaster General has wreaked on the post offices, including here in Ohio. Cutting overtime and forcing trucks to leave by the clock rather than when mail is ready to go out in the morning. Getting rid of 700 and some sorting machines, if not more, and dismantling them, even though he said he wasn't. So I don't know if it has anything to do with all of that. At any rate, I had hoped to have those received, fill them out carefully and properly, and make sure that I put them in the right return. There's like an envelope you have to put your absentee ballot in, and then another return envelope you have to put that envelope in. And everything has to be signed and documented on every form. And each of the envelopes have to be filled out properly. And you have to use a blue or a black ink pen to, you have to make sure that you fill the circles in completely and don't use an X or a check mark. There's so many things that it would be easy to, I guess, probably screw up a little bit. And they estimate that over 1 million ballots will not be counted because of some, relatively minor error along those lines. Or, a notorious one that's been used, particularly like in places like Georgia, is to claim that the signature that you sign your name to on your ballot and return envelopes don't match your signature on file. And I would like to know just who the experts are that make that determination, but that's pretty concerning. So at any rate, I strongly recommend, if you haven't done so already, take steps to get out and vote. Don't wait for election day if you don't have to. God knows what chaos will ensue that day. If there's anything that you can do to help support the Biden-Harris ticket, your state or national representatives, anybody that anything that you can do to help out at your local elections board, or in particular for the candidate of your choice, get out and do that now. Contact whoever you need to contact to put a sign out in your yard, talk to your friends and neighbors, convince somebody that's never voted to register and to vote if they haven't already, if it's not too late to do so. And ask yourself basically if you've done everything that you can possibly do, and do that. I have been getting a great deal of help financially, without which, I wouldn't be able to afford to see my doctors or afford to get these medications or pay most of my bills. And this room, I don't know if that's maybe the wisest thing I could do with some of the money that I had in the bank, but I felt I needed to make the change. My health has been getting worse, and I felt part of the problem was the little dinky room that I'm in that's really not very clean, and I thought, if I'm going to clean and tear out the carpeting and whatever, in this, I'm gonna do it in the bigger room, and get. But I haven't gone forward with purchasing the carpet because that would have taken pretty much every penny I had, and then some. In fact, I would have probably had to borrow a little bit, and I don't want to do that. And now it looks like I'm going to have difficulties just paying off the debts that I have. My television bill just went up again, and I'm changing TV service. In fact, I'm looking very seriously at, what services I can get for, free, and that's what I may have to do for a while. And I I have about $2,200 in debts that need to be desperately paid off. I had high hopes that I was going to, once that was all paid off, that I was going to probably borrow another, I don't know, $2,100 or so, and put my mom and dad's ashes in the in a grave, and get a grave site beside theirs. Uh, with my brother gone now and no family left to speak of, um, I fear that if I don't do that, it will never get done. And and I did promise my parents that that would be something I would do, but I can't take that on until my other debts are paid, and frankly, I don't know whether or not I'll be able to do it at all now. And so that's kind of been weighing on me somewhat here also this week, and I'm trying to think of what I can do to address that concern. But first things first, let's get this room done. and anyway, that's it for now. I will talk to you again real soon. Thanks a lot for watching.